Mi canto es una cadena sin principio ni final. Y en cada eslabón se encuentra el canto de los demás. El canto de los demás.
I didn't hear that. I'm hard of hearing. Good afternoon! Happy Workers' Day! Now, you have the day off. You should have more energy than that. Happy Workers' International Day! Okay, my name is Dorotea Manuela, and I'm working with the Boston May Day Committee, and this is the 8th rally that we have celebrated and commemorated the struggle that took place 127 years ago in Chicago by workers that gave their lives, blood, for the 40-hour week. And in 2013, we are still trying to get our workers' right in place. Women are still making less than men. Our jobs are being sacrificed for the capitalist pigs' pockets. Still. So we have a few hours, we end up getting our hours cut, our benefits are being cut, unions are, while they're struggling, I have one thing to say. The rank and file of the own the unions, we need to rise up and take them and be the leadership. The true leadership of the working class of the United States of America and join the rest of the world's struggle for workers' rights. Our rally is a smaller rally. This program is going to be short, but it's going to be mighty. This program represents the struggle of workers throughout the world, hence the International Workers' Day. We're going to hear from one of our brothers tell us about what's going on in Bangladesh. We're going to hear what's going on in the mighty, prestigious Harvard University that is still exploiting and destroying our workers' rights. We're going to hear from the Answer Coalition. We have, like I said, a short program, but it represents the true spirit, the heart, and the struggle that we face and will continue to carry on. The other MC that is sharing this task with me is Robert Funk, a decorated veteran from the Vietnam era. He has Purple Hearts and a whole slew of medals that I can't pronounce all of them. So he's going to be sharing this task, and I leave you with him to give you his experience in fighting imperialist wars, that after you come back, if not destroyed physically, then mentally, to be thrown into a dungeon because the VA hospitals can't be bothered after people spill their bloods and do their deed around the world. So we have to support the Veterans for Peace and all the veterans that are coming home, and not make them feel rejected as were the Vietnam vets. And here is Robert Funk.
Good afternoon, everybody. I didn't realize I was going to be number one, so we're going to kind of like wing this a little bit. I am a Vietnam vet. I spent 2 tours in Vietnam, once in the infantry and once as a medic. After I got out, I found out nobody would hire somebody who was in the infantry because they taught you how to kill, and most people, civilians, didn't want people who knew how to kill in their ranks. So I went back into the Army, became a medic, and they sent me right back to Vietnam. Lucky me. There is ironic twists in the military. One of the things I would like to speak to about, other than me, is that the people that are being targeted now to join the military are the youth of this nation, mostly poor youth, mostly Hispanic, black, and poor white youth. And they are being promised riches and glory and all of this, that, and the other thing, and all the stuff that we used to hear about in the history books. Well, I can tell you right now, from the bottom of my heart and from where my mind goes every night, war is hell. War is a monstrosity. It is the very definition of insanity.
We are still struggling many years after the Civil Rights Act. We are still struggling with racism and its many ugly facets. We're still struggling with wages that are not equal, they're inadequate. We don't have livable wages. So we need to get back out in the streets like we did years ago. We need to revive that labor movement that brought about the unions back in the 30s. And we need to not be afraid of the word socialism, communism. Charles Yancey.
Wow, Dorothea, that was the greatest introduction I've ever had on City Hall Plaza. We are here for a very serious purpose. Far too many people take for granted the rights that people have fought and died for. In the wealthiest nation in the world, we should have no working person who is suffering from poverty. We have people in this country, we have families where 2 or 3 breadwinners are working and they're still suffering from poverty. That is not right, and that should not happen in this nation. But you know, we enjoy holidays, we enjoy 40-hour weeks, in some cases 35-hour weeks. But what we don't understand is the fact that we enjoy those benefits because of the sacrifices of people who came before us. Now, I only have a few moments, but I wanted to put the Boston City Council on record as supporting the International Workers' Day of 2013. So with the help of my staff member, Kenneth Yarbrough, who did a great deal of research for this resolution, I would fairly quickly read this and set the historical context for our presence here today. Whereas May Day, May 1st, is celebrated by workers around the world as an expression of international solidarity and shared political aspirations for freedom. And whereas the celebration of May Day in the United States stems from class conflicts between working class and capitalists, and whereas United States troops suppressed a workers' strike by killing 30 workers in 1877 at the Battle of the Viaduct in Chicago, Illinois. And whereas 7 people died, including a 13-year-old boy, during the Bayview Massacre on May 4th, 1886, at the Milwaukee Iron Company Rolling Mills in Milwaukee, Wisconsin's Bayview neighborhood. And whereas a dynamite bomb and gunfire resulted in the deaths of 7 police officers and at least 4 civilians, and the wounding of many others at a labor demonstration on Tuesday, May 4th, 1886 at Haymarket Square in Chicago. 8 anarchists were falsely convicted of conspiracy. 4 were hanged by the state of Illinois on November 11th, 1887. And whereas at least 35 African-American sugar workers were shot dead for striking in 1887 in Louisiana, the chaos escalated into a race riot, with lynch mobs killing as many as 200 African-American men, women, and children. And whereas steel workers Amalgamated Association of the Iron and Steel Workers went on strike July 6, 1892 in Homestead, Pennsylvania, where the determined wives of striking workers beat to death several Pinkerton guards for attempting to let scabs cross the picket line. U.S. soldiers in return killed 11 of those workers. And whereas armed government forces killed 34 American Railway Union workers on July 7, 1894, just days after President Grover Cleveland declared striking a federal crime and ordered federal troops to forcibly disperse the striking workers. And whereas the United States Congress on August 9, 1894, in the midst of economic depression and threat of working class revolt, made Labor Day a national holiday marking the beginning of gradual improvements in working conditions for U.S. workers. And whereas hundreds of workers have sacrificed their lives for the improvement of working conditions in the United States, be it therefore resolved that the Boston City Council and meeting assembles honors those who sacrificed their lives for improving the working conditions of workers in the United States of America, and be it further resolved that the Boston City Council, your city government, and meeting assembles proclaims Wednesday, May 1st, 2013 as International Workers' Day in the city of Boston. Congratulations.
And he is a member, and he's struggling for a secular and democratic South Asia. Could you please welcome Litu?
Thanks, Dorothea. And thanks to all of you for being here today. It's a great day, it's a beautiful day, and it's a happy day because we are all together here. And it's also a very sad day because many of our comrades who are with us as recent as last week are not here today. They, as you know, perished on the rubble of a building because some people in the global supply chain thought that we in the West cannot wait for the next fashion cycle. So even though the building was cracked, they were made to go inside and continue work. So they perished hours later. It's feared, as you know, that in the building were 5,000 people, and it is feared that 1,000 are dead in the rubble. These were men, women, and teenage girls, children who should have been at school, who died for a job that paid $40 a month. So the question is can we do better than this? Now, one thing is that since 2006, there has been over 700 deaths of garment workers, not including this most recent one, where they were killed in fires, collapsed building, or by just killing by goons. The local government, the Bangladesh government, is on the side of the owners. The police are on the side of the owners. And there is also an industrial police that was formed recently, some years ago, and of course it is not to protect the life and security of the workers, but to suppress them if there is any protests by them.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Thanks for coming out today. I wanted to mention, I have a lot of things to talk about, but I'm trying to keep it as brief as possible. I got involved in the labor movement because my parents were involved in the labor movement. I'm originally from Detroit. My parents were members of the Black League of Revolutionary Workers that helped shut down the Dodge plant and integrate the labor union. So I've been a part of this movement all my life, whether I wanted to be or not. So once I got to Boston, wandered over into the Occupy Boston realm and got involved with groups such as IWW, like I said, the Pirate Party, Jobs for Justice, and I've been working out of E5 for a while. And I just have a few things to say about the situation workers are faced with today, with stagnated wages, no retirement, no benefits. We're essentially at a stage where we watch prices of everything go up while our wages go down, and we're not getting any relief, it seems like. You know, we're on part-time schedules, we're fighting each other over the crumbs off the capitalist tables, and I just think it's nice to see people come out and stand together, stand for one another, and remember that we need to fight together, not against each other.